When most people think of paranormal cases, they assume the family believes in ghosts, spirits, or the supernatural. But what happens when the people experiencing the activity don't believe in any of it? This case challenged not only the family involved, but also some of our own assumptions. Welcome back, everyone. When we first received this call, it sounded like the kind of case that would become very serious. A family was seeing black masses in their hallway. Growls were being heard throughout the home. Footsteps ran through empty rooms. Even the previous homeowner reported seeing an unexplained figure. And perhaps the most surprising part of all, the person calling us didn't believe in any of this. You see, our client John, who we'll call John, was an atheist. He wasn't looking for ghosts, demons, or anything supernatural. He was simply trying to find an explanation for what his family was experiencing. But when we arrived, this case turned out to be something very different than we expected. Let's take a look. During our initial conversation with John, several details stood out. The family lived in a home built in the 1950s, located in an area rich with Civil War history. They had lived there for approximately 2 years, and according to John, the home initially felt completely normal. The family consisted of John, his wife, a set of 4-year-old twins, a boy and a girl, and a 10-month-old baby. According to John, everything changed after they brought the baby home from the hospital. The first unusual event was a hallway light that suddenly went out. Soon afterward, both John and his wife witnessed what they described as a black mass in that same hallway near the bedrooms. John later saw something moving quickly down the hallway after returning from outside one day, as if it was attempting to hide from him. His wife reported hearing growls in both the hallway and the master bedroom. She also felt something tapping on her foot while lying in bed. The family's dog would occasionally bark toward empty areas of the house. Random footsteps were frequently heard running through the home. A visiting brother-in-law spent the night and also reported hearing footsteps. Even their 4-year-old son claimed to see a woman standing near the back door. Now, seeking answers, John contacted the previous homeowner. The former owner revealed that he had once seen what appeared to be an elderly man inside the home. While he did not report extensive activity, it was enough to suggest that the experiences may not have started with John's family. And before we get to the clips, I want to point out something important. During the investigation, the responses we received were inconsistent. At one point, we asked an apparent spirit to identify the color of a light on a REM pod that my partner was pointing to. The response was yellow, even though the light was actually green. That may seem insignificant, but it raises an important question. Are we communicating with something actually present in that room, or something responding from elsewhere? This is why investigators should never accept every response at face value. Sometimes follow-up questions are necessary to determine whether an entity is truly present. In fact, there have been investigations where so many responses came through that it sounded like a crowded room. In those situations, I have specifically asked that only spirits present in the location respond. Often the number of responses drop immediately. This is also why I never activate investigation equipment inside my own home. Communication tools can potentially attract attention, and that's not a risk I'm willing to take. It's also one of the reasons we perform a cleansing after every investigation. Whether we find evidence or not, we want to ensure that anything potentially open during the investigation is properly closed before we leave. response I got when asked if they were a ghost or spirit. They responded with names and didn't actually answer the question. The only clip I thought possibly had some value was the video clip where me and my partner are talking amongst ourselves and a voice cut in that we didn't catch until after reviewing the evidence later. We even tried some levity during the investigation to try to prompt more responses. Epic fail. You may need to use headphones for some of these as the clips are from an old case.
What color that little light is, right there?
Science that and they will not mess with it. Will not mess with it.
I want us to leave for a while.
Who do you think is the coolest person in this room, me or Tammy? Can someone tell us what their name is, please?
So what really happened here? Was there already something in the house as suggested by the previous homeowner's experience? Did bringing the baby home somehow trigger activity that had remained dormant? It is said that hospitals are one of the most haunted places. Did something follow them and the baby home like John thought? Or was there an entirely different explanation that we'll never fully understand? The truth is, we don't know. What we do know is that after the cleansing was completed, the activity stopped. Before leaving, I asked John if he would mind if I placed a couple of blessed crosses in the twins' room. Despite being an atheist, he agreed. A week later, I followed up with him. He reported that all activity had ceased and that the house had returned to normal. For a case that initially appeared extremely concerning, it ended with one of the best outcomes we can hope for, a family finding peace in their home again. And as I had mentioned in another video, sometimes knowing the true cause can be hard to determine, and this one proved that. Here is a testimony John later provided that you can also find on our website. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this case, please like, subscribe, and share the video. And as always, whether your experiences have a natural explanation or something more, seek the truth and don't let fear guide the journey. I'll see you on the next one.